Welcome everyday goddesses and divine feminines. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to have a nice big juicy read for you guys today. And today we're going to be looking at what is he thinking and feeling about this connection, about your relationship, right? So we've got a couple of beautiful decks out here today. We've got this Star Child Tarot with this Auralite, beautiful Auralite, which brings in past life and interdimensional knowledge. We've got the radiant Rider Waite with Sodalite. Journey of the Sacred Bee of this beautiful aqua calcite, which I was actually gifted to directly by Ganesh. Rhodonite here on the Ethereal Visions, and this lovely new stone I'm so excited about, the selenite heart on the Pre-Raphaelite tarot. Okie dokie, so take a nice deep breath, and did I give you time to choose? There you go, one more breath, got it? Okay, good, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your meditation there. Okay, we're going to start with the Star Child, number 1, pile 1, okay. With this beautiful stone that I'll leave right here. Got quite a nice little bit of sage going here. I almost got a little bit of a forest fire going on. As we're shuffling here, I just wanted to mention that on the 28th, I'm going to be doing another one of my Kundalini yoga workshops for Twin Flames. And this month we're going to be focusing on clearing the pain body of some scars, which are impressions and memories left from past lives in this life that we can often become very reactive to. And we want to clear those out so that we can create better timelines from a clearer, brighter future. So you can register for that at my website, everydaygoddess1111.com. It's on Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific. Would love to have you there. So let's look and see. Divine Masculine is energy. 5 of Wands. Knight of Cups, and the Universe. Lovely. His emotional body, how's he feeling about things? Knight of Wands. Ooh, lots of knights, young, fresh energy. The Empress. Ace of Crystals. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna push these. Let's push these up just a little bit here. And let's look at what is shifting. The King of Cups. It's nice, we got the Knight of Cups into the King of Cups. That's a nice sequence. The Two of Wands. And the Nine of Wands. All right, so let's start here with his energy. So the 5 of Wands can be, it can be a little bit of a sort of player energy of types, you know, kind of a little bit of, yeah, a little bit of game playing in his energy, little tussling. He's definitely feeling young and romantic towards you, Divine Feminine. That's this Knight of Cups is a beautiful card of fresh, young romance. It's this offering, right? He's kind of setting it here for this beautiful Divine Feminine to discover. There's just the world of the universe and the ocean filled with deep, deep feelings and universal love for you. He's coming in though with a little bit of a, I don't want to say, it's not exactly player energy, but it could look like he's playing games a little bit, but underneath it is a beautiful sense of romance. And he sees you as his world and his universe, this beautiful Divine Feminine sitting here under this sacred geometry. He knows that you're the one and that you are vibrating at a level different than any other woman that he's been with before. His intentions are to really move this from this fresh young romance into something that is much deeper, much bigger, and more profound, and more balanced and spiritual. Look at her sitting in the meditation pose with this beautiful light above the crown chakra. So he's very aware of the divinity of this connection. It might, as he's coming in, it might look a little unstable, and there might be a little bit of instability, a little, coming in, going out, kind of rocky ground. But what's going on underneath that is full-hearted and has a spiritual intention that is very, very high. So don't get too thrown by his nonsense in a certain way. That doesn't mean you have to give into it or, let down your boundaries in any way. But it's kind of like watching a plane come in for kind of a crazy landing. It's not manipulative energy. This isn't dark energy. It's just kind of boys being boys. It's this kind of person that might be somebody who likes to tease you, poke at you a little bit, push your buttons a little bit, but it's boyish. It's not dark in any way. It's just superficial kind of nonsense. So don't allow yourself to get too plugged into it or too triggered by it, because it's not worth being triggered by. Because what is sitting behind it is something that's really deep and profound in his spiritual body. He's spiritually connected to the depth of what's going on between the two of you, and he sees you just as his princess, really. So let him settle in, just to let him come in. Emotionally, we've got here the Knight of Wands, which is a very decisive energy. And look at this beautiful masculine figure coming in with this wand that's all aglow. It's almost like a Merlin energy coming in off in the woods. This is a man who's deeply in touch with his own spirit. Or at least it's where he's feeling deep inside, moving towards. And again, we've got this Empress card sitting in the middle. It's got the Empress in the universe. He's pretty clear whether he's showing it to you or not. Deep inside, he's really clear of the value of you as the divine feminine. He knows that you are the creative force in his life. And this is actually kind of really a lovely little phallic symbol pointing right towards you. This phases the moon above. I don't know if you can see this, but she's got these phases the moon above her head, which is sort of just the totality of all the cycles of life. And there's such a beautiful union energy here, unity between this young, fresh, handsome, virile man and this beautiful Empress. And it's followed by the Ace of Crystals, which is a solid offering on the earth plane, a new beginning, a gift coming in from the universe, an opportunity. So emotionally, he's really moving towards preparing himself to come in. And I have to tell you that I'm not a reader who likes to sugarcoat things and tell everybody union is coming, but this pile is has some really beautiful, beautiful conscious energy to it on this divine masculine. So if you're not seeing it on the surface, know that this is brewing underneath. Because what shifts for him is the King of Cups, which is coming into this mastery of his emotional body, right? He's got this beautiful start, and he comes into very clear balance, the full moon, these two little arches here, everything in complete emotional mastery and balance. His chakras are lit up. And the Two of Wands, again, see the moon is popping up here. again. It's so interesting because this was shifting for him, this fullness of the moon, and we saw this full phase of the moon above the Empress, right? So he's connecting that you are this, you know, creative source of the universe, and it brings him into a fullness. This Two of Wands, she's sitting here, you know, with her back to the desert. She's come across this barren wasteland. She's made the journey. It's a lot of determination to get through that landscape. And the Nine of Wands is, you know, it's just, again, a determination. Nine of Wands is coming to the end of the completion of the cycle. It's this card of solitude. So he does know that there are things towards the end of this journey that he needs to complete. Again, he's coming across this landscape and he's carrying, you know, in the traditional Rider-Waite, he's carrying those wands on the back, and he's bringing it. It's kind of like coming to the end of a marathon. And there's this beautiful balance here between, you know, these sticks, these wands in this card, you know, they look like they've been sort of battered. There's been this difficult, like somebody's sort of been through a war, and yet at the center of it is this beautiful geometric symbol, like a lotus flower. So he's been walking a long walk through many, many lifetimes. And he's starting to find that spiritual center. And he's got some cleaning up to do to sort of, but this is a complete circle. But he's going to come into a unity between this sort of challenges that the sticks, you know, represent. The wands represent spirituality, but there's a roughness and a difficulty there. So it's been a tough journey. But it's come into this circle, and it's created this sense of a completion. All three things, he's got these, like the two moons and this circular set of wands around the lotus flower. He's coming into his fullness, divine feminine, and he does know that this last part of the journey, that he has to do it on his own. He's got to make that on his own. Yeah. It's really, really beautiful. Let's see, in terms of this end of the journey, what is it that he's emotionally has to clear or complete to move from this, you know, these night energies down into the king, right? So there's a little bit left to go on him, but it's not necessarily going to require separation for him to get there. But, you know, in terms of his own sovereignty, shadow self, and hope. Well, so he's got, this is pretty self-explanatory. He's got still parts of his shadow. It's the black and white here, and these black wands, in his spiritual body to confront. And divine feminine, that has nothing to do with you, honestly. That's the stuff he's been carrying around for a really super long time. And it's his job to clear some of that. It's just like a residual little bit of crud that he's got left, because these parts of his shadow that he is still transmuting are parts of him that cause him to feel hopeless. It's a block to this hope. When he clears it, this hope is going to open up inside of him. Hope of a new beginning with you. And letting in the hope that he can really have something this beautiful. He's almost been afraid to feel that. You know, the shadow part of him says to himself, I can't have this. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to have something as beautiful as this Empress, or to have the whole universe in my hands. Dare I hope to have her? I want to look in terms of the energies up above. Just kind of asking, in this turn, the Five of Wands energy, why he feels this need to sort of continue to play games. Is it playful, or is there something else underneath it? Financial constraints. That's interesting. So there's a little bit of an embarrassment that this masculine has about his money. He doesn't quite feel that he's in this King of Cups energy, that he's in the divine masculine energy, that he's got the prosperity flow to deserve you. So this is why this very youthful, you've got this like boyish energy that stands in front of the Empress in her full bloom. He still feels kind of immature in terms of his coin, and for a masculine, that can really cause them to not feel like a king, because that's what's shifting. It shifts towards him, and as he gets rid of those insecurities in the shadow self, you know, he can start to move through that. But this is just something that he's going to have to kind of work through. He's got an empty cupboard in here. You know, there's bills to be paid, there's coins to be paid. He's not quite feeling in the flow. And for him to make an Ace of Crystals offer, which is a very, you know, earthbound 3D offer, he's got to handle some financial situations before he can be the man that you deserve, honestly. I want to ask from the Twinsperience deck what he would like to, what does he want to say to you? What does he need you to know about the journey? Divine plan and prayer or meditation. And both of these have this beautiful butterfly on top. This is divine plan. This is a message from his 5D self. Divine feminine, for you to know that everything is exactly on course as it should be. And that this period of him maturing from the Knight to the King, where he's got to clear up his finances and release his deeper shadows, it's all as it should be. It's all divinely guided and moving forward. I'm not feeling huge delays in this spread. This feels like, with that Nine of Wands energy, it feels like this is the last little bit here. And this is about growing up. He's starting to connect more to the power of prayer and the power of meditation. He's starting to understand that he can connect to you through that energy. He's also asking you to stay connected to him energetically at the highest level. This is both of you connecting up into source together and sort of building a energetic bridge towards each other with the highest level of compassion and love. Also with meditation, know that you can ask your guides and his guides to assist him in clearing this shadow self. And to also, since you are sharing the same energy source, to take this as a mirror. All right, take the time to continue to look at any of the rest of your own shadow to clear. Prepare yourself. He might see you as this completely self-actualized divine feminine, but if he's struggling with something, so are you, right? So that's wonderful that he sees you that way, that he sees you as the universe. But, you know, let's be realistic and know that we are mirroring each other. So also ask yourself about your own finances, your own money. You know, the way we sit on the earth, this Ace of Crystals, the way we interact, like, you know, on the earth plane creates a real solid foundation for the upper levels of the relationship to occur. We don't want to engage in spiritual bypass where we're just meditating all the time and not really handling our lives. So make sure that he wants to be the king and come in as a king, but make sure that you stay in that Empress energy and handle your own stuff, right? We don't want to default into old paradigms of being saved by man. Yes? Okay, because we both have to keep our own energy fields really clear. So take the time to just, it's kind of like putting your clothes through the final rinse in the washer, just make sure that anything else that's left untended, take the time to take care of that. Okay. I'm just going to look at a couple things here. I want to pull a little romance card for you. Give your relationship a chance and work on your partnership. I'm going to put this up here by the Five of Wands. So this Five of Wands dynamic might be a little bit more extensive for some of you. Just what's the communication, that it's not too, testy. And again, it's not a deep testiness. It's not like really deep conflict, but that this sort of game playing between the two of you, it can, it's one of those things where it can sort of derail how things are going. So again, just be wary of engaging with him in ways that fans those fires, inflames that situation. Try not to take things too personally when he gets when he just says stupid things. Right? Trying to get as my mother would say, try not to get your nose at a joint too much. All right? Just know that despite, again, this is this young, kind of handsome, boyish energy, that he's got some kind of like nonsense behaviors, but give him some space. All right? Don't be try not to be too hard on him. And I'm not usually saying that because I do believe in boundaries a lot, but in this case, just I would kind of say on your side of it, just to make sure that you're not being too harsh on nitpicking on dumb little things that really don't make really a big difference. Okay. Let's just get some messages for you, feminine. Just a little guidance. I'm gonna put a little guidance here. The raccoon. And I'm gonna pull some angel cards here. Messages from the angels. This is for you, what to do in drill. Okay. So the raccoon is the inventor, and it says, decide on what you really want. You have the ingenuity to claim it. Avoid being the trickster. Here we go again. And practice integrity. You have many roles, and you can juggle them well. So this is supporting you in knowing that you can lay a solid foundation that will support manifesting union. So, these raccoons, they build dams, right? They build things together. They create things together. So again, this issue about putting your financials together, your coin together, but it's even a little bit more extensive. Make sure that you're building the structures for a life together. This can even mean like empty your drawer in your house for him. Or create some space in a closet. Start thinking of ways that you're building a life together. If you live in different cities, what are the practical things that need to happen to start your life together? And start putting your manifesting hat on in that direction. And then decide what you really want. It's also asking you, feminine, to really commit. That this is your counterpart. and that you're going to make whatever changes that you need to make in your life to let him in. Avoid being the trickster. So, wow, this came up like 3 times here, okay? Stay away from silly, manipulative game playing. This 3rd time in a row. All right, practice integrity. Practice integrity in your speech, your actions. You know, don't play internet games. Don't post photos to make them angry. You know, don't, you know, do weird comments or anything, you know, that kind of thing. Or tit for tat. Oh, he did this, so I'm going to do that. Just stay away from that. The many roles goes to the Empress, right? The Divine Empress, the Creator, Lover, Wife, Mother, Sex Goddess, Provider. Know that you are a multifaceted female and that you can juggle all those different roles inside the relationship, because now we're looking at a paradigm relationship of 2 equals coming together. So as far as, you know, again, not having a man save you financially, know that you can handle your own part of the home and be receptive and feminine and sensual at the same time. This angel card, Ethereal, you are a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all its inhabitants. And I'm going to put this one down here with prayer and meditation. This, again, being a message from his higher self. So as he's doing some of his homework here on his shadow self and his finances, continue with your light work. Continue with your mission work, all right? Take the time to be looking broadly, transforming broadly for the collective, contributing your energy to the collective, any other healing modalities that you've been interested in. It's time to it's time to dig in. So if you've been thinking about, you know, doing Reiki, do it. If you've been thinking about reading cards, do it. If you've been thinking about mediumship or any kind of or massage therapy, just whatever it is that's been sort of tapping on your brain, take this time to expand your abilities, because they will serve you as you begin to go into union. Because the first few years of union for some couples can be kind of rocky, so you want to make sure that you're on top of your own healing abilities for yourself and for others. Okay, so this would be a good time to get started in that way. Okay. All right, so that is it, Pile 1. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you found any of this useful, please hit the like button. I'd love to hear your comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so and hit that bell. You know, take whatever resonates and leave the rest behind. And again, I hope to see you at the yoga workshop at www.everydaygoddess1111. We're going to be clearing out some of our shadow together this month. So I hope you can make it there, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye. Welcome, Pile 2. Okay, so Pile 2, you've chosen the Rider-Waite Radiant deck with a sodalite. And sodalite stones are for mental clarity. They bring the they marry mental clarity with intuition. They bring the higher mind down into the physical plane. So it's a very good stone for learning how to direct your thoughts in a positive way towards your meditative, intuitive third eye capabilities. It marries those 2 parts of the brain together. So if that resonates for you, it might be a nice stone for you to have since you were drawn to it. And let's take a look at what he's thinking and feeling about this connection, where he's at spiritually, any kind of other messages that might come through. Just as a reminder, on the 28th, we're going to have a Kundalini Yoga workshop for Twin Flames and Advanced Souls. We're going to be clearing out memories from some subconscious and some scars, so you're no longer reacting to the past, clearing karma out of the energetic field in the body. So that's going to be at 8 a.m. Pacific. You can sign up at my website, which is in the links, everydaygoddess1111.com, and you can reach me there for, personal readings and karmic clearings. All right, spiritually, we've got the Four of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Tower. Woo! Okay. So, this is a masculine who's in a deep contemplation spiritually about this connection. Sort of hitting the restart button and thinking about building a firmer foundation spiritually with you. This could be very much on the 5D level, but I think also in the 3D real life, he's realizing that you are his rock, his home. He knows that he feels something with you that provides like a strong ground underneath his feet. And this awareness is coming really, it's coming really strongly into his field of vision, and it's causing a huge upheaval in his life. Things that he thought were solid before, real before, things he could rely on, are all sort of coming apart at the seams. And it's this destabilization in his life. It's giving him pause. The Four Swords is a very positive card because see the Church is here. This is someone who's realizing that they need to go within, that they need to go within themselves for contemplation, awareness. He's taken a deeper look at his life and a deeper look at you. And he's realizing that this is not just, flight of fancy or some chick from his past or whatever, that there's something that just sort of persists here. And it gives him a feeling of something he can rely on. And it makes him feel really good because there's a lot in his life that is coming apart. It might even be a specific event. There's something, could be a job, could be his current relationship, that is just, if it hasn't fallen apart yet, it's about to. But you are the lighthouse in his storm, Divine Feminine. I know sometimes that doesn't feel very fulfilling, but stay solid in that, stay solid that you are the energy that he can hitch his wagon to and find some stabilization amongst this turbulence that's coming his way. You don't have to do a lot to provide that stability. It just comes from unconditional love and who you are in your power. So just sort of stay in your power. Stay connected to your own life right now. Find that inner strength, this pillar coming down right in the center of this reading. That's the strength that you provide. So give him that space to this inward looking. This is a very singular card. This is something that's been coming for a long time. It's something that he needs to do. He needs to do it on his own. He's starting to look at himself, and that's really positive. So you want to give him the space to do that. How's he feeling about the connection? That's his spiritual development. And that's good. Before we go on, this Tower, this is the thing that happens when somebody just refuses to look and act and see for a while, right? They're just holding on to their own ways. And he's shifted out of that. He's starting to go, wait a minute. Maybe I need to look deeply at this, because the universe will bring that explosion to anybody who refuses to move and refuses to look. He's got to come in anyhow, but he's definitely more prepared to face it. This is a good lineup to move towards a Tower moment because it's depth, it's solidity. He's managed to sort of pull some of these stronger energies together for himself before the universe smacks him in the face, which is what's going to come. But his connection to you is also going to help him move through this complete, dissembling of what he thought was real and solid. Okay, but this is those wonderful cards of, you know, things that have to go away, things that are no longer working, going away. It's number 7, divinely guided, right? The 4 is strength, and the 3 is creation. So he's finding that strength in the creative energy he has with you about building a future, building a life. He's seeing that there's something in the future with you that could be stronger, more mature, more grown up. And yeah, he's gonna have to go through the tunnel though, because he's gonna have to let go of things from the past. Actually, I want to give this a little bit more of a shuffle. Yes. Okay. Let's look at his feelings. 7 of Pentacles. 2 of Cups. And 7 of Wands, 2 sevens. He's got so many 7s coming out. So there's the divine is at work here with your connection for sure. This is, I know everyone says it's divinely guided, but 3 sevens coming out. So you can just sit back and relax a little bit, Divine Feminine. This 2 of Cups sitting at the center. This is such a positive card for the 2 of you because he's feeling young romance with you. This is that beautiful, fresh, young beginning. So if this is a relationship that hasn't happened yet, he's definitely thinking about it. If this is something that happened in the past and you broke up, he's thinking about restarting these fires. It's not right away. Over here, he has the 7 of Pentacles, and that means the day you plant the seeds are not the days you pick the fruit, right? So he's thinking ahead about this. He's starting to plant the seeds again. You know, he's starting to think, you know, maybe I should start laying this out in the future. Start making decisions again, letting go of certain things that aren't working. This is positive because this is not somebody who's rushing in without thinking about it. This is someone who's really contemplating what he needs to do. I'd say most of you, this is a restart. Treading carefully, treading thoughtfully, treading respectfully. And just reaching out. This is somebody who might just be reaching, you know, small little messages, little text, little Facebook, warmth, kind of reestablishing the connections in a really mindful way. Taking the steps slowly and seeing how things go. He knows that this is something that's sort of down the road a bit because he's got some inner work to do, but he's moving towards it, definitely moving towards it. The 7 of Wands is as a defensiveness about it. There's still something hanging on with him emotionally that he feels combative about or defensive about. But this is stuff that's in his own invention. You see, this is a guy who's fighting something and we don't actually see anything really there. So let's take a look at that for a second. Let's clarify that. There's something emotionally in your connection. Of course, if you're twins, there's always shadow and things coming up that he still feels sort of back on his heels about, things he needs to clear, or there might be conflict between the 2 of you from the past that still needs to be pulled through and worked through. Let's see what that's about. Scorn. And escape. All right, so there's something in your past. Oh, this is a couple that had a falling out, and you probably let him have it and told him some truths about himself that were uncomfortable, and he felt scorned by you. But don't feel bad about that, Divine Feminine, because that is his reaction to the truth. This is why he feels back on his heels and he feels defensive, because you called him out on some of his behavior and he didn't like it. But what's positive about it is on the spiritual level, he is looking at himself, but it's hard. This is egoic, and it's hard for him to face. He wants to escape from that. He could be indulging in escapist activities, you know, whether he's drinking or just playing a lot. It's tough for him to look in the mirror on this. He wants to, but this is just the residual of somebody who doesn't like to really own his own stuff very much. And this is something, even as you come into union, when you do, that he's still going to have to work on, right? This is somebody who doesn't like to smell his own stuff, the messes that he made. And he knows that you're the truth teller. He feels more solid about that. Like he knows that you're not a liar or just blowing smoke up his ass, honestly, that you'll tell the truth. But there's something from his childhood where it's hard for him to hear truths about himself. He feels like a shame from that scorn. This is energy from his mother, where he felt scorned as a child. It's a trigger. It's a childhood trigger that comes up when you tell the truth to him. But don't change that. That's his issue to deal with, okay? Whether he's going to look within or whether he's going to continue to try and pretend that he didn't hear it, or it's not his problem, or it's not his fault, or engaging in behaviors to run away from that, all right? So you hold still and just know he's working that out, okay? He's growing up a little bit. These are very youthful energies emotionally. See, in all these cards, the male figure is very young. So there's a slight amount of emotional immaturity, but his spirit body is pulling him up. This becomes a little bit more mature. And for him to really face this, again, this is under the tower, right? If he keeps this up, Spirit's going to pull him and hit him hard, you know, because he's going to have to start that journey of inner looking, whether he likes it or not. Let me just put these to the side for a second. Let's see what's shifting for him. 5 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, and the Magician. So this 5 of Pentacles, I'm going to tie this up to this tower. After he has this explosion in his life, he's going to feel really isolated for a while. So just be aware of that. He might vanish for a little bit. He's going to feel like he's lost his friends, or he might be pushed out by his family or other women that he's been engaging with. He's going to really be feeling like he lost a lot. But he's got to. And out of that, out of his willingness to drop people, connections that are no longer serving him, even though he'll feel really lonely and bereft by it for a little bit, the universe is going to step in and guide him. This is a tangible gift from the universe, and it's going to filter through into him bringing a tangible gift, an offer to you. And it's right down. Look, if you go downwards, this pentacle, this gift, this new beginning, underneath this collaborative energy with you, this building of foundation with the two of you sitting at the center of it. This is just sort of a dark pit that he's going to have to go through. And as he does that, he's still in this youthful energy of the Magician, but this is mastery. So this is very, very positive. I mean, he's definitely discharging things in his life, but he gets a fresh beginning. And he gets a fresh beginning with you because this is, what's shifting with you. Once he goes through this spiritual inward journey and this little bit of a dark night here, it's not the heaviest dark night I've ever seen. There's not like 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, but it's definitely an explosion that throws him for a loop. But he gets a fresh new journey out of it, which is, that's really exciting. This pile too. Let's take a little look at what he'd like to say to you. Messages from your counterpart, from his higher self. Paranormal activity. Oh, we're going to put this up here. This is in the spiritual realm. Paranormal activity. Researching past lives. Wow. Whoa. Wow. Wow. Okay, so this is, I'm going to keep these up here by this inward reflection and this foundation. Okay, so on the spiritual level, this is a masculine who's getting lots of downloads, lots of positive triggers, actually. He's getting a real deep sense that there is something not normal or mundane about this connection, that there's something really elevated, spiritual, the nature of the twin connection. If you're twins, if you're soulmates, it's a very high level, because he's actively open to and maybe even looking into past life connections with you. Things are happening to him in his day-to-day life. Synchronicities, he's getting numbers, he's getting dreams, he's getting, just those wild coincidences, your name popping up, dreams, just things happening in the house where he goes, whoa, what's that? So the depth of this connection, divine feminine, it would be wise for you to mirror this contemplative energy and connect with him as much spiritually as you can on the highest level, because he's being definitely led by spirit, because we have all these sevens out. So you have a lot of, as a couple, you have a lot of divine beings and guides that are guiding him. All right, they're guiding him and opening up his awareness as to the true nature of this connection. Let's look for some guidance from spirit for you. Okay, we're going to go into this beautiful mystical shamanic oracle, and I'm going to go to the shamanic oracle because there's so much spiritual activity going on between the two of you. So let's look into the spirit realm for a second. Vision quest. Wow, you guys are really hot on the 5D. So in Vision Quest, in Native tribes, Vision Quest is a time, it was a rite of passage where people would go out into nature to receive messages. Now, if you're seeing this around the time of the pandemic, I would say, run with what everybody's doing. Everybody's doing a lot more outside activity, right, these days, much more exploring in nature to be dealing with the lockdowns. Spirit is calling you, divine feminine, to get out into nature, and whatever deep rituals, deep meditations you could do simply, if you're in a city, like go to a park and sit with your back against the tree, ground and protect yourself. Allow messages to start coming in from nature. If you can get away for a day or two and take a little, Airbnb trip somewhere, that would be really awesome. And this means alone, okay? If that's not available to you, just get to whatever, a park or a beach or a walk in the woods, at least an afternoon, Okay. This, if like a minimum of like 3 or 4 hours. Very intentional quest. You know, bring a little mat to sit on, maybe some crystals, some oracle cards, or a long guided meditation. If you do yoga nidra, you might want to do that outside. The vision quest was about identity. The vision quest in Native culture was when somebody would find out the true nature of who they are. So this isn't just, you know, a light little meditation here and there. This is some really committed time to drop down and get a renewed message and a connection to spirit about not just the nature of this connection, but about who you are as a divine feminine. Seeing this card as a singular woman against the moon, right? So this is about you expanding your sense of the power and beauty of who you are as the divine feminine, and why you came here into this oh so challenging journey. Okay, so that is really, really beautiful. This reminds me a little bit before what I said earlier about you being the lighthouse for him, that solid strength. This is, he's got some, you know, turbulent thing go to. This is about you sort of upping your ascension level just a little bit more. And there's so much joy and beauty in this. You know, look at this beautiful celebratory energy about this. So if you've been feeling really burdened by this journey and really sad, Spirit is calling you out to dance. She's dancing. She's dancing outside. So maybe dance resonates with you a little bit. As far as that, this is how, you know, the Native people would you know, they danced their spirituality around, you know, the fires or just out in ceremony. So this is also calling you to have a physical part of this journey, this looking within, you know, physical practice as well, using something in the body as part of your vision quest ceremony. So design something that's meaningful to you, but definitely integrate the spirit and the body. She's dancing in front of the full moon. This is you coming into your fullness, intuitive Empress fullness, staying in a celebratory energy of what you've achieved and what you've accomplished. All right. So that is so stunning. And we're just going to finish that with 2 more cards. Since that full moon is there, we'll look at moonology, but let's take the star seeds for a second. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. Okay, so this is look at this singular woman again dancing outside. Okay, yeah, you're getting it in front of the rings of Saturn. Dancing in the woods, witchy poo. This is what we're talking about. Okay, even though this might seem like such a strange thing to do, release the resistance towards being in full ceremony. Whether it's Wiccan or Native or how, you know, bhakti, you know, Shakti dancing, just really let yourself release fully into the identity of who you are. With this full moon here, I just want to take a moon card. A fiery climax approaches. Look at that right there. This fiery climax, I mean, that sounds very sexy, right? So here we had that romance card coming towards your way, which is really nice. It's the full moon in Aries, which is about action and fire. It's so similar here to this vision quest thing. And I'm going to say that that fiery climax is also just within yourself. You're coming again into this full moon, this fullness of your female identity. Whatever you've been holding back as far as really releasing yourself into this energy fully, Don't be afraid. Don't feel stupid. Just let it rip. Let yourself go fully into the dynamic of who you are, because it's going to strengthen him. He's going to be looking over at you like, wow, she's a powerful woman. Men like to be with a woman that they know they can rely on, who's strong and solid. So release yourself into that journey and gather the energy of the mother, of the full moon, of all the female energy that is out there and available to you. Go out into nature, bring it in, integrate it, get yourself nice and solid. There's a new journey that awaits the two of you. All right. And it's really about you guys walking side by side as equal partners. So that's just beautiful. I hope that's helpful. If you resonated with any part of the reading, please do hit the like button. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit the bell. And if you'd like a private reading, I am available. So you can just, my website's in the comments, in the description box. All right. So I'll see you guys next week, and enjoy the woods, pile 2. Bye now. Pile 3, welcome pile 3. Okay, pile 3, we have the Journey of the Sacred Bee tarot here with this beautiful aqua calcite. And this stone was given to me. I was shopping in San Francisco, and I pulled that stone out of thousands of stones, and it turns out that it had been sitting in their statue of the hands of Ganesh, and I picked it out, and the store owner gave it to me as a gift because it was a blessing from Ganesh. So if you've picked this pile today, you might want to connect to the energies of Ganesh. Ganesh is the remover of all obstacles. So let's see what's going on with your masculine, and see what kind of obstacles there may be, if any, but we'll see what's going on here. All right, let's see what's going on with him energetically in regards to your connection. 5D, in this case, it says, where's that there? Worry. All right. 3 of Wands, but that 5D, by the way, is discs, so that's the pentacles. 3 of Wands, virtue, and the Chariot. All right, so energetically, this divine masculine is energetically very committed to moving forward. All right, this is someone who knows that his work, his home is with you. You are the queen bee and the sun. This is somebody who knows that their ships have come in, the work is being done. And the Chariot, number 7, very powerful card to come out for you guys. It's all divinely guided. There is some, worry right there. In the traditional tarot, this is being left out in the cold. This is someone who's feeling like they're on the outside. See, in this one, in the Sacred Bee, he's sort of worried about being sort of shut out. The door's sort of closing outside the church. He's been left. I feel that this is a masculine who is, he's more worried about his own spiritual connection to the divine. This is not even deeply connected to you. I mean, it is in the terms of you being his twin or his soulmate. But this is a soul who knows that they have stuff to clean up from the past and work to do. That they know that they haven't completely stepped up to the plate in their spiritual journey. They are determined to do the work. They're just not clear that they measure up to the level that you've achieved spiritually. It's kind of like that feeling when when you're a kid and you go to school and you know you haven't really done your homework, right? And yet you're being thrust forward into the situation, but you know that there's still work to be done. All right, this hive, the honeycomb is outside. There's work there. This is about not fully measuring up. In a traditional sense, the spirituality, this is a church here, right? And there's, this illumination and this beauty and this hard work that's being done, but has it been enough? So there's a little bit of a hesitancy there on the part of your divine masculine, because he knows he's catching up. But it's positive though, because ultimately he's ready to take that. He's ready to take that on. But if he feels a little reticent at times, it's kind of a feeling like he feels like he's got some sort of deep, dark secret of not being worthy enough. And he's a little worried that you're not going to accept him in the shape that he's in, Let's see what's going on emotionally. The wheel. That's number 10. That's the Wheel of Fortune. 6 of Cups. And this one is pleasure. And the Star. Wow. That's a real beautiful lineup emotionally. Okay, the 6 of Cups sitting at the center. This is the card of victory and love. You are his delight. This beautiful card with the springtime. The bees are out populating all the flowers. Very amorous feelings towards you. And you are his hope. You are his hope, his dream. And the wheel represents an opportunity opening up. It's like a cycle's closed out and a new one is opening up, filled with opportunities to come forward. There's a lot of positive stuff in this reading today, because I've said it before in some of the other readings that I'm not always I don't like to just paint things with rose-colored glasses, but how he is feeling is amorous, hopeful, and ready to get into the next round. It's almost like, this wheel's got circles around, and as it comes around, there's a door that opens, right? And he is emotionally prepared to do it. Again, the thing that's holding him back is just his sort of spiritual vibration, having to get himself up to the vibratory frequency that you are at, right? Let's see what's shifting. Strength. That's number 8. 7 of Cups, seduction. And the 10 of Pentacles, which is wealth. All right. Again, really positive lineup here. Pile 3. The Strength card, see that there's a lion in the middle and a puppy. All right, so we've got some Leo energy. And Leo energy is about courage and passion and compassion. There's also a snake down here, if you see in the bottom of this card, and our lovely little bee on top of the puppy. That orange color representing the lower chakras. The second chakra, sexual connection. There's some yellow in there too of power. So despite this deep sort of inner worry about you not accepting him, leaving him out in the cold, pushing him out, not being worthy enough, he is showing the strength. He's going to be showing the strength to push through whatever he needs to do or to see or observe to get through it. So the universe is definitely pushing him along. His guides, any of the guides that are overseeing your union, they are totally on board, but he's got the ability to do this, and it will be coming through. And a lot of it is because he is so emotionally driven at this point to be with you. he does have to be aware of being seduced into his old ways. There's going to be some tests coming up for him. This might be an old karmic situation. Because we're seeing these like Venus flytraps, right? And what happens with those is that they're plants that have a very alluring odor, but then you get close to them and they destroy you. That could also represent addictions, ways of avoiding growth, hanging out with the boys, partying too much, just sort of illusions, sort of backtracking and being, lured and falling into his old ways. Okay, he's got options. This is a masculine who may be very popular with other women, and a little bit of that Leo ego there. He likes to get a lot of his identity from female attention. Not necessarily someone who acts on it. Maybe does, maybe doesn't. You just might enjoy that. And I'm just really looking at the cups here, sort of being out at the bars, flirting with other women, just sort of getting off track a little bit. Okay, so he might start coming in with a little bit of a back and forth, a little bounce, but this is just something that he sort of needs to go through, because he might need to get some hard lessons still about just how treacherous that life can be and what a trap it is for him, right? These getting trapped here. All this green energy around the back shows that, the heart is waiting behind all that, but it's like somebody sort of running through an obstacle course a little bit. Not too heavy, dangerous, and treacherous. It's just, these are like old habits, old ways of being. But the final card in the spread here is the 10 of Discs, which is the 10 of Pentacles, which is a happy home and complete balance and fulfillment. This is one of the cards we'd love to see for twin flame and soulmate union, because it's about building a home with you. So that's where he's heading. Now, we're not the Four of Wands yet. We're not a total union, but it's definitely putting your lives together. I would say in here, Divine Feminine, just make sure that you, I said this in one of the other policies, that you keep your boundaries a little bit, that if he starts dabbling around and playing some games, don't get lured into that too much. Let's look here for a moment and see, what is it emotionally? I'm going to do the emotional intelligence deck here that causes him to fall back into and get seduced into his old patterns. Stalemate energy. And shocked. So he has moments, this stalemate energy also tied into this thing about getting pushed out from you. There's this guy thinks that a lot of times that you're not interested. Not that you're not interested, but there's a clashing of wills in this couple, right? That sometimes the energy in your arguments or points that need to be proven with each other, or moments of growth that come together where you guys get locked, your horns get locked together. And when that happens, he likes to go flirt with other women. When he feels like he can't get what he wants from you, or he can't win with you, or he can't make you happy, or that sort of thing. So Spirit's advising you that even if when you're in these arguments with him, to make sure that you still are articulating your vision for the relationship. All right. The shocked is very, very intense energy. So I'm going to say that it's got two layers to it. One is that there's things going on in his environment that are destabilizing him emotionally and energetically. All right. He's got some other events outside of you that cause him to go sort of party and hit the bottle a little bit. And some of that is also rooted in some past life energies that come up, sort of like karmic PTSD, right? Stuff that kind of sort of comes up, and he kind of gets into this frozen state. And when he gets into this frozen state, he tries to distract himself in ways that are destructive. That's just something that he's going to have to learn. I'm not really sure if there's too much for you to be doing about that. Let's see if we can, what he wants to say to you about that. That's just a pattern of his where he gets freaked out. He gets freaked out. He gets frustrated. He feels like he's not man enough. He can't win. He's got old traumas that come up to the surface, and he sort of takes an exit ramp about it. Let's betrayal. He's been betrayed in his life before you. He's got issues of betrayal with other women. And when he gets this close to being with you, these old experiences, that's what he was shocked about. He gets cold feet. He gets cold feet. This is that stalemate thing. This is thing he can't win with you. It's not going to work out. Something bad's going to happen. He's not man enough. You'll go with someone else. It's just all his shadow comes up here in the center of it. And it's what is in the, what's shifting. So he's in for sort of another round of these old issues coming forward. I want to go to the emotional intelligence here and get some clarity on this worry card about feeling like you shut him out. What's that about? Serene. That's guidance for you to stay serene. As he mumbles and jumbles and has all this shadow coming out, you stay in your queenly self, right? Divine Feminine, you have a little bit of a tendency to put walls up. I got the word ice queen a lot of times when you're upset with what he's going through, that you can be a little icy. So this is sort of saying that make sure that, again, during your conflicts with him, that you stay in this warm spring-like energy. You can learn how to keep a boundary with someone, with their behaviors and what they're doing, without shutting them out and putting up a cold front. In the traditional Rider-Waite, this energy here is like they're like out in the snow, they're outside the church, right? And someone feels shut out. So make sure not to sort of delve into that iciness, that icy energy. Just keep that warm, open, it's this big open heart here. Can you see that? Is that in the spread? Yeah, okay, it's that warmth. Okay. Let's just see what kind of guidance there is for you. Okay, Divine Feminine. Just kind of clarifying this serenity. Surrender. Serene, surrender to the divine. And this is also here to this, going to the divine guidance of the Chariot. So once again, you're being asked to stay in a peaceful, full energy. So this is the full moon, knowing that everything is just really going beautifully here. Okay, you've got this wheel, also the full moon of the circle of the Wheel of Fortune here. Things are moving in the exact right way that they're supposed to be going. And this is about, again, you staying completely in your beauty, in your softness, okay? Just letting him know that you're not gonna, cut his head off. You're not gonna betray him. You're willing to move through any kind of issues or arguments, that he can rely on you to not turn on him. This is a man who has had a lot of women turn on him in the past very, very badly. And it's a deep, 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 deep fear that he has. Okay, Let's see if there's some messages about his healing. We're going to look at the mystical shaman oracle here. And just see what kind of energies, Divine Feminine, you might be able to channel for him. The witness. You know, I'm going to put this up here too. This is about you developing what we call in Kundalini Yoga the neutral mind. To be able to stand with a partner and simply witness what they're going through. To be that open-hearted witness who allows somebody to go through what they're going through without having to interfere, lecture, fix, criticize, scorn. This is the absolute opposite of codependency, right? Codependency is, I'll fix it, right? I'll fix you. If I fix you, you'll love me. If I fix you, I'll feel in control, and that way I don't have to worry about what you might do or what you might not do, right? Again, this is just sort of being in this open-hearted energy, and this is so beautiful because in this card, the shamanic deck, this shaman is a female shaman, and she has deer antlers on. So there's deer energy that's coming through here, and deers have that beautiful quietness, right, in the woods. They are soft and gentle, but powerful. They can sort of hide when they need to hide. They come forward when they need to come forward. These beautiful open eyes of just seeing somebody and using that, even that connection with your eyes. If you're in separation, you can do this on the 5D. I'm just saying, like, I'm here. I see you. I accept you for who you are. And as you go down through these shadows and heal these old betrayals and the shock, you know, this might be somebody who ended up walking in on somebody, an old loved one, you know, saw and found them with someone else. And if it didn't happen in this lifetime, it might have happened in an old lifetime. And letting that healing energy bring him out of this freeze, that stalemate energy where he just can't move. He just can't barely move at all when that happens to him. Okay? We're gonna do one more thing, and this time we're gonna go into a book, okay? I love this, this beautiful, beautiful deck. This is the Cosmic Reading cards. And we're gonna get a message from Spirit here, because you're definitely being asked to be in a lot of neutrality. Meditative neutrality. Let's see what else your guides are asking for you. Communication. Okay, so again, and here's this female, see? Same thing. Again, the moon energy. The female seeing from her third eye. The wolf howling at the moon representing the intuitive female. The clarity in the eyes on both of these cards of witnessing and seeing your beloved in their power. So even when you see a man struggling with his identity, that you see his beauty, and that you accept him. Let's see what this says. Communication. This card has been revealed to you today to acknowledge the voice inside you that wishes to be heard and acknowledged. One of the biggest lessons we can learn in this lifetime is effective communication. Communication that is clear and that does not assume that others can read our minds. Working both ways, the art of listening also involves being patient and open to the ideas of others. So this is where this stalemate, we go back to this stalemate and being left out in the cold. Sometimes he just doesn't know what you're thinking and feeling. And this is about you really working on communicating those things, your thoughts and feelings to him in a way that doesn't make him feel like a loser or that he's being scorned or criticized. Just simply articulating, this is what's going on with me. So he knows that you're there, available and open. The walls aren't shut. You haven't gotten to an unworkable, immutable place together. Dear one, at times you don't feel as though you're being truly listened to, and this can cause frustration, agitation, and a stagnant whirlpool of energy to build within you. This frustration can sometimes cause you to be indirect, insensitive, and snappy, right? So again, I was right about this kind of ice queen behavior that you can have. So we need to unravel this. This energy of frustration and insensitivity then gets passed back to the ones who did not effectively listen the first time around, and is usually received as a personal attack. Yeah, all right, left out in the cold stalemate. He thinks he's being attacked. This energy only encourages them to continue not to listen, even with more resistance and defiance. This cycle of energy being thrown back and forth continues and becomes more vicious, intolerable, and heartbreaking. Most often, either or both parties will search elsewhere for an empathetic ear to listen to. Okay, that's where he goes, right? He goes to go, some other woman will listen to me. It is time to take the reins and break free from these energetic, emotional mind games. Communicate truthfully about how you feel and express calmly with love what needs to be said. Give the other party an opportunity to also express their feelings. Okay, so this is about how to get out of this stalemate thing. Their feelings truthfully, and allow them to speak freely without interruption or resistance, okay? So listen, zip up the mouth and let him talk. The more you practice this art of listening with love, the more you will find others eager to hear what you have to say. You will then go from a place of not being heard to a place of being heard by many, and in this case, being heard by your divine counterpart, okay? So emotionally, he's there. He's working through some things spiritually. He's got the power and the determination. But this impression of that he gets from this poor communication needs to be replaced with clear, loving communication and neutrality of witnessing so that you guys can get to your happy home. Okay, I hope that's helpful. If you got anything from that, please do hit the like button, tap the bell. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that as well. And come join me on the 28th. I'm going to be having a Kundalini yoga workshop for divine feminines, twin flames, and souls. We're going to be clearing karma from the energy system. That you can go to my website, www.everydaygoddess1111, to register for that. If you'd like a private reading or a karmic clearing, I'm there as well. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Thanks. Pile 4, welcome Pile 4. So nice to see you here. You've picked the Ethereal Visions Tarot with this lovely rhodonite stone. So let's get to it. And as we started, just want to remind you guys that on the 28th, I'm having another Kundalini Yoga for Twin Flames, Advanced Souls, Divine Feminines. We're going to be working on clearing karmas and some scars from the energy fields of your body. So you're no longer reacting to the past, but creating beautiful, fresh, intentional timelines for the future. It's a Sunday, it's 8 a.m. Pacific. You can sign up for my website, which is in the description box. And let's take a look at what your masculine is thinking, feeling. We're going to look at his spiritual body first. All right, we've got the Hanged Man, the Sun, and the Emperor. No, the Hierophant. The Hierophant. This is fantastic. This guy is on the spiritual plane starting to look at his spiritual essence and his connection with you from a completely new perspective. He's turned the world upside down, and he has started to come into full awareness that life is an illusion, right? That everything that we see now is Maya. He's no longer attached to the 3D world as a solid reality. He's starting to see the essential spiritual truth of existence. This is very powerful. And within that, he gets the sun, complete joy, complete happiness. This version of the sun, by the way, has this beautiful, sexy, delicious, divine feminine. Usually it's a baby in the traditional Rider-Waite, but this one is the divine feminine standing against this beautiful sun, and that is you. He has completely reevaluated his spiritual relationship with you, and he's done it through, or will continue to do it through, higher learning, traditional learning. He might not be as engaged in far out woo-woo stuff as you. He's approaching his spiritual growth in more traditional ways. This might be more traditional religious practice, or it might just be things that are a little bit more in the mainstream, Tai Chi, martial arts, or even just hiking within nature. There are things that he's engaging in that are starting to open up his view about what it actually is to be a human being. And it is blessing him. Okay, he's got that raw sun energy coming down, that solar energy, which is also masculine, divine masculine energy, this Hierophant energy here, wisdom. It's bringing in his wisdom self, his higher self, integrating. See, this is a young man, right, who's been turned upside down, and then he appears as an older, wiser man, and the journey to there is through his connection to the divine feminine. This is a very beautiful, sensuous image too. See, her clothes are slightly removed. You see her breast there. There's a beautiful sexual connection between the two of you. That gathered with that sun energy. On the spiritual plane right now, your sacral connection is very, very strong. Spirit's telling me to tell you to take advantage of that. Connect with that sacral energy, that sun energy. Also third chakra, that brilliant ball of light, which is also where there's a twin cord there. Imagine this brilliant sunlight flowing between the two of you to continue to strengthen and heal that connection. Going back to the Hierophant, if you're seeing this in terms of lockdown, a lot of times people are spending a lot of time outside and they're getting a lot of downloads from nature. People that are, guys that are out there hiking or running on the beach, that kind of thing. There's something about being out there that has energized him, that's caused this insight, this willingness to look at things from another angle. This could also be just reading. He's reading books about spirituality. It could be well-known books like the Tethered Soul, or he could be even doing some TM or something that's a little bit more known. But whatever he's doing, it's working, because he's tying this awareness, this newfound awareness and this wisdom that he's experiencing within himself. He's not just tying it to you, he's seeing that the journey towards it is through you and with you. It's a really strong lineup coming out to begin with, Divine Feminine. So let's talk about his feelings. The Four of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so this you have this beautiful explosive energy on his spiritual level. Emotionally, he's struggling a little bit more. Okay, he's definitely spending time going within. All right, so this is, this spiritual energy is trickling down into this need to sort of pull his energy a little inward emotionally. This guy has been sort of flailing emotionally before. It's a positive card because it means he's, rather than acting out and just all over the place willy-nilly, arguing or flying his feelings all over the place, he's starting to contain himself a little bit more emotionally and taking some quiet time for himself to sort of integrate everything that's been opening up for him. This is a good card because it's about meditation. It's about inward looking. He's starting to look inward. However, with that comes this incredible burden. All right. Once we start to look inside, it's not always so pretty. Okay. The journey has clearly begun. Spiritually, he's driven to it, but now he's got to start doing that hard inner work. And he's starting to come into a really stark awareness about the emotional burdens that he's been carrying. And he's been carrying stuff for a really long time. This is a little shocking to him. It's sobering that he's not been telling the truth about certain things about himself for a long time, and it has weighed him down. I mean, the positive side is that he's willing to do it, but it's a lot that he's found in there. So if you feel like he's a little heavy, if you're around him, let him have that space. If you're in separation, don't be afraid don't be surprised or afraid if you don't hear from him for a little while, okay? Because this going inside and facing himself emotionally, it's heavy. It's heavy, and he's taking the time to do it, but these are very singular energies, and he's got to take that dive within. So if he vanishes a little bit, don't be too surprised. The Two of Pentacles, this is him juggling things, and in this card, it's clearly a female. So this might be somebody who's been with a karmic partner, and he's having to juggle the two of you in his emotional body. All right, he's starting to look inside some of the darker truths, and this is about having to make a choice. And on the spiritual level, he's pretty clear about what that choice is, but on the emotional level, what it's brought up, there's not as much clarity there, really. I would feel optimistic about it, but he's gonna have to go through some of this dark looking, this inward looking, to see why he chose that in the first place, why he got sort of, into that situation. This Two of Pentacles has this emotion, this water underneath, right? These sort of turbulent waters. And she's on one foot, right? There's a bit of instability and emotional turbulence. He's got to revisit how he's created what he's created, right? How he's made these decisions in the past, and what kind of internal emotional triggers have caused him to make those decisions. Let's see what's shifting. The Artist. The Five of Cups. And the Four of Cups. All right. I'm very pleased that there's such great spiritual energy up here, because you'll have to take some solace and faith in that, because he's got some tough energies coming up. As he goes within and starts to dig this stuff up, he's gonna have some turbulence. All right. I'm going to start here in the Five of Cups. That's regret. He has to deal with the regrets of his past. Some of that's about you. Some of that's how he's treated you. Some of that is, as I said before, facing the ways that he's created what he's created. This is a guy who, for the first time, is going to have to see that he's responsible for his life and what he's created in his life. He's been blaming everybody else before, the women in his life. Oh, it's women are like this and she's like this and this is this. You know, it's like they say, like, it's the first year of therapy is about coming out of denial that it's actually you, right? And he's going to realize it's him, that he's been the cause of his own problems. And for a while, he's going to get a little bit lost in this for a little while and not really see what's available to him from the universe. He's gonna shut it down for a little while. This guy's not gonna be coming forward for a little ways, because the burden of this is, see, in both cards he's got his eyes closed, right? He's gonna shut him down for a little while. This guy's gonna be staying very removed for a little while. It does have a positive spin on it, because what I jumped over in the beginning was the artist. And in this sense, I'm going to say that the artist is very linked here to the hangman in seeing life in a more creative way, that he can create his destiny, that he can be creative, that he can look deeper into the world. See, this is someone who's sort of like looking through a window at this beautiful landscape. Again, seeing things in a new way. But he's still very much on the outside of that creation. This is an awakening, though, of artistic sensibilities, which is very nice that this is in this alignment from the hangman to the Four of Swords and the artist. This is someone who's starting to see things in a new perspective. He goes within, and that perspective really widens into a much more creative landscape. But this is very internal. This is this internal opening that's going on. But on the outside, it's going to manifest for a while in him shutting the outside world down a bit. This is someone who's getting a little frozen on the outside. It's almost like a void. Whereas the inside, interior, there's a lot churning with him. On the inside, you might not see it very much because he's chilling out and creating other boundaries for himself. This is somebody's going to be taking a little time out, and some of this here is about him feeling really bad about himself for a little while. I don't think it's going to last too long, but maybe he might be in this for a few months. Does that sound long? So maybe that sounds like an eternity. Let me see what the romance cards are in the feeling. Deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. Okay, so I'm gonna say that is connected to this Two of Pentacles and the Karmic. He's gonna have to start really realizing the depths of who she really is or isn't. And see this card, he's got like a mask on it, okay, with this little angel. He's gonna be feeling like a fool when he really comes to terms with the character and the nature of the woman that he's been choosing over you. And he's gonna feel like a real heel. And it's out of feeling so stupid and having this truth of awareness. That's why he's going to shut down for a little while, because it's almost like he can't really act on it and admit it that quickly. He's going to be integrating that for quite a while. Let's get some clarity on the Four of Cups. Okay, let's just see what comes after that. After this period, because this is spirit bringing in that twin energy. What comes after? Five of Pentacles. Okay. Feeling left out and cold. and the Page of Cups, which is an apology. So he's got a little bit of a descent. Okay, so maybe my months were even a little longer. After this, shutting that out, he goes into Five of Pentacles, which is really sort of even doubling down on this. This is him feeling shut out in the cold, perhaps shutting you out for a little while. This feeling of being shut out of the cold is also something where he's sort of, it's like he's got these two women here. He starts to realize what he's done, and it just makes him feel like he's on the outside of all of it looking in. This isn't, I don't see, quite frankly, a real rushing back in, connecting right away. Oh, I was such a fool stuff, because it's that feeling of foolishness that's coming in to him. It's dark for him, and he's gonna feel like he's not welcome. And it's not coming from you, it's just out of his own feelings of shame. But he does turn it around with the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is an apology card, it's an offering. He will come back around and start to re-engage and come clean a little bit more about this situation that he had created. But he's gonna have to go down into the hole for a little while and own his stuff. All right, let's look a little bit more as far as his stuff and what it is emotionally that he's gonna be clearing. So let's ask what emotions that caused him to get embroiled in the karmic. Of course, it's, you know, it's karma, you know, it's destiny. But let's see what got him in there. Safe. And what is he needing to clear? Being a people pleaser. Okay, this is a real dominant S&M-y. She was the safe choice. It didn't challenge him very much. It was just easy, floating. There's something familiar, you know, which is definitely that karmic energy. There's a magnetism there. And he was able to sort of park himself there for really quite a while. She's got the upper hand in that relationship. And he spends a lot of time trying to make her happy. And this has tapped into just sort of a deep codependent streak that he's got. He's might have an alcoholic father or an alcoholic mother. I'm feeling father energy a little bit more, and has been raised as trying to make the peace, trying to make everybody happy. And the karmic that he's been with has that kind of energy, that sort of alcoholic, abusive energy. And he has felt manly trying to make her super happy. And that felt like a safe, familiar thing to do. So he's going to be releasing that. And Divine Feminine, I have to tell you, that is some dark, ugly stuff. All right. So be patient, because when somebody starts to realize that, it's a hard realization to go through. It's very, very, very difficult to face those things. Let's get some guidance for you in the meantime, because this is he's going down a wormhole here. He's got a bit of a process. I'm going to get some guidance for you and some messages for him. Okay, balance, spirituality, and practicality. Okay, so Divine Feminine, definitely keep your spiritual work going on your twin flame connection. But the practicalities also mean that you've got a period of time that you're going to be facing without him while he's doing his thing. So find things to get yourself engaged with that are productive for you, that are developing your own life. Don't get lost in the spiritual level of this relationship. All right, open your eyes, face your day-to-day life. Even if it's just getting things in order, you know, getting your house clean, you know, working out, making sure you're doing everything in your profession, your job, you know, spending time with friends. Just pull yourself a little bit out of having to be connected. You know, you can connect in the 5D, but don't get lost up there. This is such a strong showing in the spiritual level. You can ask your guides to watch over this and maintain this, okay? But you need to take care of you, and you need to do it in ways that are very earthbound. Yeah? Taking walks in the park, rearrange your spice rack, you know, just whatever feels good to you, right? You know, do it. Okay, a lot of that will actually contribute to him having the space and the time for him to face himself. Don't be afraid to detach. Let's get some messages from him for you. Researching past lives. Boy, this is coming up quite often. And the throat chakra. All right, he is aware of the nature of this connection, and also the connection with his karmic. He's starting to realize that there's patterns. This might be the Hierophant. This might be the thing that he's studying, the spirituality that's opening up in him. He's becoming really aware that this ain't the first time at the rodeo, that there's patterns here, that there's lessons, that there's spiritual lessons coming through the relationships, right? That there's meaning to it, that there's soul growth. He's on it. It doesn't feel so good right now. And now that awareness has opened up in him, now he's going to have to start walking through it. The throat chakra, he wants to talk to you about it. I'm not sure if he will. There's a blockage there of communication. And he just wants you to know that he's moving forward and that it's going to be okay. That you are his son, that love for you is there. But he's having a hard time articulating it, right? He's having a hard time. This is this blockage, this 4 of Cups, 5 of Cups, this inward looking thing. He's stuck in the throat. He's got a little bit of a chokehold going on there. But don't allow that to make you think that it's not real and that it's not moving. Let's get a little message from the angels, all right? Because you're going to be kind of walking this walk on your own for a little bit, Divine Feminine. I know that's hard news to hear, but it's good. It's good. They have to go down and figure this stuff out. So Archangel Gabriel, you have an important life purpose involving communication. Okay. There's more messages here about the throat chakra. And the arts, the artist. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help you. And the practicality. Okay, so this is interesting. We have communication and artistry showed up in his spread, and then it showed up as guidance for you. So there's something that you're mirroring here in each other as far as life's purpose and mission. So whatever that means to you, get busy on it, right? The work that you've been fantasizing about, that you want to do, go ahead and do it. And that will start to pull his energy up and through to you as well. Okay, so make a to-do list. And all that stuff that you've been like kind of avoiding or afraid to move back, because it's saying don't let the insecurities hold you back. So look inside that shadow and step through it. This is beautiful purple light at the 6th chakra. So this is this really divinely guided work, and this yellow and orange here, lower chakras, bringing forth those creative energies up into a spiritual realm and level. And you've got angels looking out over you for this. So this is you doing the work, moving through the places where you've been frightened and insecure towards that vision of yourself, and let him start to churn through these lower levels of emotional debris and karmic patterning that he's got to clear up. All right, so it's all good, but there's definitely work to be done and energies to be moved through. So be patient with that and let it strengthen you and make you stand firmer on your 2 feet. Okay, great. Thanks for stopping by. If you found that helpful, please do like, hit the bell, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you'd like a private reading, I'm over on my website, www.everydaygoddess1111.com, and I'll see you next time. Welcome, Pile 5. Good to see you here. We have this lovely Pre-Raphaelite tarot with this Celestine heart. And Celestine is a great stone for the crown chakra and bringing in divine messages and energies. So that might be something you want to add to your collection if you were drawn to the stone today. All right, so what's he thinking, feeling, where his energies are in this relationship? And as we're shuffling, I just want to remind you that this week on the 28th, on Sunday, I'm going to be holding a Kundalini yoga workshop for twin flames and divine feminines. We're going to be clearing some scars, energetic traces of karma out of the system, so you're no longer reacting and perpetuating the past, but creating new timelines out of a pure intention. So don't miss that. Let's move this out a little bit. All right, let's see where your masculine's energies are in your connection. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords. We're having the Ace of Wands and the Hierophant. This is an interesting spread. So the Queen of Swords, I have to be really frank, he is dealing with a perception that he has of you of being harsh with your words. You guys have had some kind of verbal conflict in the past where you said some really truthful things, but they were perceived on his side as being very biting. But you know what? That's how it is sometimes when you are a little unwilling to deal with someone's BS anymore. And out of that, he is learning from that. He's actually looking into really sort of traditional methods and ways of looking in at his spiritual growth. It's caused him to, really be looking at codependency issues. Maybe he's reading books on codependency and relationships, communication between the male and the female. He's struggling a little bit with how this communication between the two of you went. The fact that you were just, cutting to the chase with him. And he might have backed up from it in a really severe way, but he heard you. And it is causing him to be a little bit more self-responsible for his own training, his own spiritual work. It created a little bit of a havoc in him, but it wasn't lost. And really interesting, here sitting in the middle is this Ace of Wands, which, you know, is a tremendous, look how phallic this is, okay? In the traditional Rider-Waite, you know, my colleagues and I, we like to call it the dick stick, honestly. It's a sexual renewed passion and the beginning of this spiritual journey. So out of this harshness, there's been a spiritual beginning, new beginnings, new offers from spirit. Also in this card, see how there's this out of the clouds, she's blowing the winds of truth in. And he cycled back around. It's created a new cycle and a new beginning. And there's a lot of energy coming in on that. And it's mixed with some passion. So even though we might have been wounded and kind of taken it sort of badly, there's an awareness of your wisdom and sort of a willingness to look deeper and connect into his spiritual being. So it's positive, but it's been kind of a hard lesson for him and requiring him to look a little deeper at self. And he's willing to. He might take some paths to do that. That might be a little bit more traditional and dogmatic than what you're doing, but that's okay. Let him be there with that. Let's see how his emotions are doing. Okay, we've got the Seven of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. Wow. Okay. So he has a beautiful amount of emotional fulfillment going on, but it's a little unfocused and a little all over the place. He is prone to daydreaming and he's fantasizing about you for sure. But some of it is illusory, some of it is egoic, thinking about, you know, what his options may be. He's still dabbling in the thoughts of other women, other partying, trying to see what kind of options are available to him. Some of what he's aiming for emotionally is not really stable. And not really authentic. He's still kind of taking these stabs at the dark of what to grab onto emotionally. And so he still is moving through some distraction emotionally. He's got this card here, the Three. Might be a third party situation. This is still partying, friendship, you know, thinking about and the Seven of Cups, you know, wealth or toxicity. It's like this. He's aiming for something emotionally, but he's sort of missing the mark for a little while. The good news is it leads him towards, you have this beautiful union card. This is the happily ever after card, Divine Feminines. He sees you as his happily ever after. It's just he's coming in for a little bit of a rough landing. He's still sorting through what is true, authentic love and what is toxic love, okay? But he's thinking about it. He's moving through it. He's observing and he is sorting and sifting. And he's moving towards this awareness of, he wants that happily ever after with you. He's just got to grow up a little bit. He's got some maturing to do. He's not fully anchored and aware of what emotional authenticity looks like. But he is on his way, all right? And he's aware of the journey. We're going to do something a little different in this round. We're going to look at the mind. Okay, lovers, yeah. Strength. And the Five of Pentacles. So he knows that you are his divine counterpart. It very clearly comes out in the love card. He thinks about you with the utmost desire, unity, of connection between the two of you. This one in the Pre-Raphaelite is a beautiful Adam and Eve. And look how, in this one, how tied together they are. you know, he knows that he's tied to you and always will be. And he knows that he gets his strength from you. Look at this beautiful divine feminine, that you are filled with compassion, and beauty and strength. He gathers his strength from you. It does cause him to feel less than. He's struggling a little bit mentally with feeling like he doesn't deserve you. He's got thought forms from his past where it's challenging for him to let in the strength and power of a woman who's in her power. So there's a bit of a hesitancy in the mind. And also that's sort of like, this can't be, it's kind of too good to be. A little bit of a cynicism about love. And that something could really be this wonderful. This Five of Pentacles is also, I'm going to connect that over to that Queen of Swords, because you have that great power, you also have that ability. You see him more clearly than any other woman sees him. And when he gets that sort of searing truth from you, he feels left out in the cold, and it freaks him out a little bit, right? And some of that is because of that immature energy of really not being totally aware that true love is a path that two people take together, and sometimes it can be uncomfortable to grow together and to have to really look at those truths. You know, it's not an illusion. It's not just all play, right? He still wants love to be like playtime and partying and wealth and ego and having, you know, just everything feels good all the time, right? But he, you know, he's on that journey to figuring out that to be in a real partnership and to go through those storms together, that it can be uncomfortable, and it's okay to have those uncomfortable moments. You work through them together. You don't necessarily end up on the outside. But he's struggling with that a little bit. But the strength of the energy of you, this is so strong, this connection. And he's still kind of toiling with that a little bit. So if you're feeling that hesitancy, a lot of that is that. It's that fear of being shamed. Fear of when he's corrected, he feels ashamed of himself, and he fears that from you. But the connection is getting really super undeniable. I mean, you've got the Lovers out, you've got the Ten of Cups. I'm looking down here, right? He's this higher learning and this higher fin. If we go down this way, he's learning what true partnership looks like, and he needs to discharge this energy of retreating, feeling like an outsider to love, or feeling that when truth is revealed to him that he no longer belongs there. That's a shame. That's a toxic shame issue. Let's see what's shifting for him. Two of Wands. Okay, that's wonderful. Two of Wands. The Knight of Wands. And Justice. Well, this is great because the Two of Wands is a very decisive energy. He has the world in his hands and he's expecting the best. He's made a decision. He's planted his roots. He knows the best is coming, and he gets this Knight of Wands energy. One more time, right down from here. Okay, we've got this phallic thing. This guy's feeling very, very sexy about you. This is an offer, a spiritual offer, a sexual offer, and he's pretty determined to come forward sexually with you. And the Justice card is balance, and it's truth. Again, he sees this truth of who you are, and there's a strong female presence that pulls down through these cards, very much in opposition to this sort of, you know, playful player energy down here. This still, though, this Knight, this is still kind of a slightly immature energy that he comes in with. Your energies are very queenly, very masterful. He's still sort of struggling with this kind of, there's a little bit of a player energy in here, these illusions, partying, and the Knight of Wands can be player energy. He comes towards you sort of with that player energy, but it's because it's all he knows. It's all he knows how to approach a female with. So he hasn't really quite come into that mastery of manhood, that emperor energy, that divine masculine. He's sort of coming in a very boyish way, but it's with the best of intentions on this time. He sees that fulfilled, happy home together, and it is anchored by the Hierophant, by having some spiritual guidance. This also might be that somebody's come into his life, another man perhaps, who's offering counseling, spiritual counseling. So there is something that is anchoring him and bringing him towards a more mature, more ascended, more developed way of being in relationship. He's not there yet, but he would like to kind of get the thing started, because he knows that there's so much strength and power in this connection with you. He just might come in with a slightly ridiculous style. Just be prepared for that a little bit. Let's see, from the emotional intelligence deck, what it is that he's still grappling with, sort of blocking the way a little bit from him moving to from this knight energy into something more kingly, more accomplished, more masterful. What's he processing? Projection. Oh, well, here, that's that. That's this, and we talked about this. And vengeful. Thinking you're vengeful. Okay. So again, this is someone who doesn't like to be criticized. Right? It's very difficult. He sees women as being vengeful when they speak the truth. And it's really hard for him to hold on to any criticism. So he needs to project the problem, the source of the problem, onto you. All right? It can't be me. It had to be you. Because of that deep shame that comes up. That's how he sort of is still managing it. And it's one of the reasons why it causes him to indulge in fantasy and partying. There's a little bit of a lack of responsibility about being able to really take full responsibility for his own flaws, his own shadow, his own darkness. So I can't be the problem. It's got to be everybody else. And it's why he still comes in this player energy. He's not really quite man enough to own his own stuff. That's what he's working on. The good news is that he has found some sort of deeper spiritual counsel, and divine intervention has come in to lead him. He's still on that path, though. He might just be coming into an initial awareness about like what projection even is. A lot of people go through life, they have no idea that they're projecting onto other people. They're just reacting. So he's still in this reactive energy, emotionally, which is what most people do, right? They just sort of react to situations, and they try and park it or shape it in a way that where they don't have to feel ashamed of themselves. So he's got to kind of break that cycle a bit so that you guys can be in more authentic communication. We're going to get some messages from him. Capricorn energy and soul star chakra. Okay, so this is also very encouraging. The Capricorn energy means he's working on it. He's got his foot on the path, and he's working on himself. It's young. It's new. Some of these ideas are new. but he's willing to do this work. So for you, Divine Feminine, let that in a little bit. Like his level of psychological awareness, emotional awareness might be really different. It usually is between men and women. But open up your eyes a little bit and let the signs in that he is working on it. So if you've been in this place of like, oh my God, he's so dense or, immature or, whatever the problems have been, kind of pull off that Swords, Queen of Swords energy a little bit. Don't lecture him. Don't train him. The universe has brought in guidance, spiritual guidance to him. So you don't have to do that work. You don't have to break him through. Just be in a space of observing his willingness. Interact with that. Support that. Acknowledge that. Because, whatever you support and acknowledge in a man, he'll do it more. So if you are in any kind of contact, anytime he makes some kind of breakthrough, compliment him about it or support it or acknowledge that, wow, that's amazing. You're figuring that out. That's incredible. How wonderful, guys need that. They just do. The soul star chakra is very, very good news. It means that up in the connective energies, especially if you're twins, those upper energies have opened up and connected between the two of you. All right. The upper chakras are in alignment, and there's that shared energy is open and clear. You might want to do some meditating to keep that flooded with light. Think of those upper chakras and flood them with light. This is also why this spiritual training, awakening, counseling is coming in. Something has opened up in the crowns, in the shared crown area. So it would be very beneficial to visualize that, feed that. All right. You don't have to do the earthly work on that as much, Divine Feminine. Okay. Let's get some counseling for you. Okay. As he's moving through this. Okay. We're going to do a couple things. We're going to pull water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. I always love when that comes out because it just means, this is the spa card. Now I know we're in lockdown and stuff, so create it yourself. This is like salt bath time. This beautiful woman in the starlight, salt baths, aromatherapy baths, rest. You might want to be practicing some yoga nidra, which is deep restorative rest. Your masculine has had a breakthrough, and good for you, Divine Feminine, because you've done enough work on yourself that the energy is starting to go up through the top into the spiritual energies and starting to download on him, and he's starting to walk the walk. So you know what? You get to take a little bit of a break. All right? If you've been really working this connection hard and doing a lot of healing, it's time for you to pull your energies back inward, restore. You've been pouring a lot out towards him. Okay, it's time to kind of pull that in and let this divine counsel, the spiritual counseling that the divine has provided for him, let them do the work. Okay, let them do it. A message from the angels for you, Divine Feminine. Lila, spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. And they're both in this violet light, okay? So we're dealing with the third eye chakra. Am I holding that right? So you got the same message twice. Time alone in nature. There she is. time alone in nature. If you can swim outside, it's getting a little warmer in some areas. That would be awesome. If that is weather permitting. But if not, even bringing waters out with you to drink, hydrate, sit in a grove. Yeah, time to get quiet. And this meditating about your desires, remember the sixth eye is also a place where you can project intention from, all right? Asking the angels to help you, again, over here, handing some of that over, handing some of the healing over to the divine. And that that deep rest will feed the energies and will support him on, moving through whatever it is he's moving through right now. Okay? Okay, great. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't quite yet. I'd love to hear from you. Leave comments and share the video. Helps to get the messages out there. And again, come on next Sunday. Come practice some wonderful energetic yoga. It will definitely help you to rest and renew. All right, you can visit me at my website, www.everydaygoddess1111. If you'd like to have a reading, I also do karmic meditational clearings, and that's where you can sign up for my monthly yoga workshop for twin flames, advanced souls, ascending souls. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.